Alright, so this is going to be a really short video. I was talking with someone, and as I was sitting with them and listening to what they were saying, the thought kept rolling through my mind afterwards, after I listened to what they had to say. And I realized that as distressed and hurt and in pain this person is, one of the things that kept rolling through my mind as I was thinking about it is that I just felt the sense that this person wanted to trauma dump, but not to actually take in anything to be able to help themselves. And so when I was looking back over the conversation, I realized that I had become very, very quiet, and they had eventually recognized that and stood up and walked away. And as I'm recording this, I can hear them saying, "Nobody cares, nobody cares." And for those of you that have been around people that struggle with, suicidal ideation and suicidal thoughts, I just want to say that I myself, I fully have compassion for people that struggle with that. We've all had different situations and experiences and circumstances that could have pushed us to that. Not everybody that has had those experiences goes to that depth, but that doesn't mean that we're somehow better if we haven't than those that have, because in every experience that we have, healing is available. And what I want to say next is that sometimes when you're an empathetic person and people know that, they will come to you and they will just regurgitate out of their mouth everything wrong in their life, every illness, every weakness, and why life is not fair and life is wrong, and healing is a joke, and you fill in the blank. I want to encourage you to not allow that to be something that you ruminate on. Because when you have made the choice in your life to heal, that means that healing is not always pretty. And if you understand anything about getting to the other side, then you understand that there's no way around your emotions. You have to feel them. There's no way, around that issue, that point. Because the point of relativity in that circumstance is, in order to release yourself from shame and guilt and anger, you have to feel the depth of the betrayal that took place. You have to feel the depth of your anger, that you maybe prayed and you perceive that God didn't answer your prayers because XYZ happened, or it didn't stop an event from happening. The reality in that is that there's a lesson in there for you, whatever that lesson is. Until you learn it in some form or fashion, that cycle in your life, that relationship dynamic will repeat. And if it's something that is truly detrimental for you, it would only make sense to me, and maybe it will make sense to you, to feel your emotions related to the experience so you can put it into that particular experience and elevate to a different type of experience in life, from a more realistic and healed space within yourself. Because as I sat there and I listened to this person, I just kept hearing all this pain being trauma dumped, but I wasn't hearing any recognition that, maybe that experience, how do I show up within the confines of, or the structure rather, of healing? I didn't hear any of that. And sometimes you're not going to hear that because a person is not willing to really hear anything other than what they feel, because they've identified themselves with what they feel rather than what they believe. And there's this widespread hysteria in America to identify yourself with what you feel rather than what you believe. And it keeps so much of society locked into an unstable structure internally that they can never build a better foundation for themselves, because they're identifying what they feel as who they are, rather than an emotion that's valid but isn't always an accurate reflection of the truth of the experience or the circumstance. What you believe is what shapes your life, not what you feel. And as I'm sitting alone making this video right now, I can only hope that the person that I was speaking to, that I had been speaking to, that they, find a healing of their mind, in their heart, in their spirit. But it's not going to come until they are ready to be done with how their life is right now. It's just not going to happen by someone magically walking up to them and waving a magic wand over their head and making everything copacetic. They have to be willing to sit with their emotions, to feel the depth of their rage and the depth of their betrayal and the depth of their hurt, and gain an understanding, a true understanding of a wiser way to live a more impactful life for themselves. Not for anybody else, for themselves. And until that happens, anyone attempting to help is simply throwing, and I hate to use this phrase, but throwing away the beauty of good, solid wisdom and understanding into the mire and the mud, as if it's nothing. Trying to chase, being a people pleaser, just simply for the appearance sake or the facade of being labeled a nice and a caring person. True empathy is hearing and feeling the pain, and yet deciding to speak and be in your truth. And sometimes that is telling people that until you're ready to really sit with your emotions and feel them, I don't know of any other way to heal, because I don't see any other way as valid, because you're not truly getting to the root cause of the issue. And your feelings are valid, they're sacred, but they are not the true reflection of the truth of the situation. Because we know in part and we see in part. So I don't know if that's going to help anybody today. I just wanted to record that and upload that as a reminder. When you have those conversations with people and you recognize that halfway through the conversation, or maybe a minute or two into the conversation, that they're not really willing to hear anything, and that they just want somebody to agree with everything they say and throw them a pity party, that you can recognize it quicker and remove yourself from it, because that truly is it's one of the ways that your energy is drawn out from you, because you're so worried about this person, wanting to help them, but you're not helping them, and they're not helping themselves. So just a reminder to be mindful of the conversations that you have, and understand where you have energy leaks that are not beneficial for you, and they're not beneficial for the ultimate outcome for other people.